Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to today's live, and I hope you're much ready to actually enjoy the program today. We are going to be looking at market analytics and possible trade opportunity this afternoon. We all know that the CPI news is on the way, and a lot will be happening in the market today. Like, share, comment, invite others to join us. Give me 1 or 2 minutes to actually invite others as well. Please do let me know in the comment section if you can get me clearly, and also if you can see my screen clearly. Like, share, comment, and invite others to join. You're welcome to today's live. Like, share, comment, invite others to join us. We are going to be starting the program at the moment. We have 20 persons connected. Like, share, comment, invite others to join us. Today's live is going to be very much interesting. Invite as much people as possible so that we can start the program together. Like, share, comment, invite others to join us. We are going to be starting the program exactly at the moment we have at least 20 persons connected. So, good afternoon to you, Simon Pierre. Please let me know in the comment section from which part of Cameroon you are watching us from. Let me know in the comment section from which part of Cameroon you are watching us from. My water. Okay. Good afternoon once more. 20 persons connected. Good afternoon, Samuel Sami from Bafusam. Good afternoon to you, Ambe. Good afternoon, Bright from Boyer, and also Pierre from Yaoundé. So, guys, let me know in the comment section from which part of Cameroon are you watching us from, and this is our humble opinion for today's market. We are going to be starting the day on the DXY, but before getting to the DXY, I would like to take you back a little bit on something very much important that will be happening today afternoon. If you go to forexfactory.com, then something is about to happen. We have the CPI news, which is one of the most important news on the US dollars that will be happening this afternoon. So, as a rundown for the calendar, today is Tuesday, the 12th of August. We have the Australian dollars news already that have passed, and today we are approaching 1:30 p.m., where we are going to be having the core CPI, the CPI, and the PPI. These fundamentals sometimes are often unidirectional, meaning that if the core CPI is positive, most often the CPI will be positive as well, and the CPI yearly quarterly also is going to be positive. So we have three datas here. We have the first CPI, with the one with the Y, that stipulate the change in price of goods and services purchased by consumers, and we have the now the what we have here is almost same thing, but now they are just very some light similarity. The similarity are almost they almost the same, but there is a small slight change in their measurement. But they almost, as I've said, they are unidirectional. So today's CPI could be positive all through, it could be negative all through, and it can greatly affect the US dollars. And that's the only fundamental we target to the end of today. So without wasting much of your time, we are going to go back to trading view, where we are going to be observing the market to find out what is happening for the dollars, what are the possible stake, what are the possible opportunity that you might be getting to the on the US dollars today. Because it's very important before the non-farm payroll, we get our level all intact and know exactly what we are targeting. So going for the US dollars, the market has really been dormant since morning. If you put up the chart, you guys are going to realize that since morning today, since in the morning, as I told you guys, prior to the news, the market always face a lot of low volume. That is prior to the news. You can't actually differentiate between the London session and the Eastern session for the dollar index. As you can see, the dollar index have been consolidating. This was since August 11. That was yesterday. The market has just been consolidating, one candle opening after another candle. This is a clear sign that the market is in a huge consolidation. We can even say absolutely that this is an inactive market. And I said it is very much important to note that inactive market are going to be generated prior to a high impact news and sometimes after the high impact news. So currently what is happening is that we are preparing ahead of the CPI. And the most important thing we need to understand is our price action. If price action is correlated by the news, we take advantage of it, bearing in mind the technical analytics we have done, because it's going to help us to be able to navigate that market during the news. So no panic might be created. So as per the dollar index is concerned, I still remain back on the same analytics that we are looking forward for. I saw a point of interest down here where you saw this zone. This is a huge point of interest, POI, and this POI has been divided into two to create a 50% mitigation sense. Now, just below that particular consolidative base, there is a lower structure, or we can even call that a support structure, which is a local support that carries enough liquidity. Definitely means that if the market slows beneath this structure, we'll be able to grab liquidity and BTMM will be seen or apply on this chart. In that regard, what I wanted to see in a bullish DXY was a possibility of the DXY coming to mitigate this trend line, which leave from the origin of the current rally on the DXY. This trend line started from here and be rallying significantly. Looking further apart of that, we also have a great sense of point of interest that actually shows as a baseline structure from this other price level here. So if I can map the price level very well, you are going to see exactly what I'm talking about. So right here we have like a base. That base serves to us as a huge volume switch, and that is a major point of interest on the US dollars on the US dollars index. So there's a great potential that the market is going to go mitigate in that structure, and if that happens, it will be a confluence between the trend line and the point of interest, and that is why I have said that to me, I would prefer to have price mitigate within my POI and a retest on that trend line to give a perfect last confirmation for a bullish dollars. The news could be a great catalyst to that. What happened if when the news come, we don't have a weak US dollars? What are the possible outcome? Because if we have a weak US dollars, we are going to get into this point of interest and possibly the market can rally from there. But what in the case we have a strong US dollars? If we have a strong US dollars as we're speaking now, the slightest point where I can pick up my profit is at this range low and range high. So you can see that even though the market is being stopped from this price level by because of the coming of the fundamentals, you are going to realize that this structure here that I've just mapped, these two zones, were also a consolidative zone before other this market started consolidating down low. And the market has been struggling to go mitigate inside that structure and has been facing a stiff resistance from that consolidative red zones have been mapped, have been able to map. So that low of the consolidation is serving as a massive support, which the market is now finding difficult to cross above it. So currently we have two things. If the dollar index is strong, the possible target is up slightly above the last range of this market. So this market can rally straight up and clear a little bit above here. And now, if the dollar index is weak, then we are going to be targeting our next point of interest to be this zone. So these are the possible scenario and the possible price levels that the market can actually meet as we are struggling to see what is going on. So you have to pay keen attention on this because this is going to help you not just to look at the DXY, but also to trade other USD cross pair like the Euro USD, GBP USD, and even sometimes GBP Japanese yen. So you ought to pay close attention to this. So that is our possible looked up for the goal. And I see that our life during 12 p.m. is more active than our life at 1 or 2 p.m. So we are going to be maintaining the 12 p.m. life, you get it, for the life in the afternoon, and we are going to be maintaining VIP community classes at 5 a.m. This will permit that people really understand. So I am telling you guys, you don't need to rush this news. You as a forex trader, you need to react based on what you see, not on what you hear, not on what you think. Because in the next couple of minutes, people are going to get two options. Either you are going home with money, or either you might be losing money. And if you are going home losing money, that is your problem. You're going to lose your money. But listen to me attentively. If you listen to the advice I'm giving you and you are keen to your rules, then you might go home with money. This is simple. From where we are having a stagnant market. We are having a market that is almost not moving. And is almost not moving. And I'm giving you there are two triggers, and there are possible direction that the market can move. If the non-farm payroll, sorry, if the CPI is positive for the dollar, is going to give us a strong USD. And if it give us a strong USD today, know and listen attentively. Don't fight this market movement until the market gets to this resistance up here. If you like, you don't hear. This is a resistance here. Secondly, when if the CPI comes up to be weak, Don't fight that trend. Rather look for opportunity to get in that trade. And if we are looking at, then our next possible target, the nearest possible target is this low. But I'm telling you that this low on this particular DXY carries a lot of liquidity. So if the market comes to that low, be careful, because we can clear that liquidity down to tap into this POI. These are the two scenarios. If you can follow and map these key levels, I bet you, my friends, today is going to be a possible day for you to go home with some dollars. So if you are watching me live, please click on the like button, give this program some heart. Giving me a heart does not cost you anything. Clicking on the share button does not still cost you anything. We are 48 of us watching. So 48 like, pop, 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 click, and 48 heart. Simple. Simply just tap on the share button and let a lot of people be aware of the program, so we get more people engaged on the program. So thank you very much for liking. Thank you for all those who are clicking on the share button. Thank you for all those who are liking. I really appreciate. I can see only 19 hearts watched by 47 people. Why are you stingy with a simple click on the heart? My people, I'll be stingy with what I'm telling you. I'm serious about it. So the next pair of the radar is gold. I know everybody is on gold. Our head is thinking gold. That's why I don't even need to ask your opinion. But let me just ask your opinion. Which pair should I take now? Yes, let me not be a tyrant. Let me ask your opinion. Which pair should I treat now? Which pair should I treat at the moment? I don't want to be a tyrant, no. So, which pair do you think we should look at now? Let me know in the comment section. Which pair will you want us to click on at the moment? If you are watching me and you are not part of Bear Forex, I said in September there is a program called Learn to Trade and Pay When You Become Profitable. We launch this program once a year and sow seed in the life of traders. We have decided to relaunch this program for 2025, and it is starting in September. September 15 is the day classes is starting, and registration will be starting August 15. That is 2 days from now. Admission to this program is free, limited to 150%. You are not going to pay a dime to Bear Forex. We will teach you, add you to our VIP community, sow a seed in you. There is a link in this live description to join that WhatsApp group to be part and parcel of that program. It occurs once a year. I don't know if it's going to happen again next year, but take advantage if you are listening to me at the moment that I'm speaking. Okay, gold. Golda is saying gold. Don't take the baby's milk. So let's move. Gold is on the radar. Everybody's looking up to gold, and here we are. In the morning, during the VIP live session with the community, we were discussing something quite important, and I'm still on it for the goal. I'm just going to delete everything because I don't want you to think a lot. A vivid analytics is very much important for you and I. When you look at gold, for example, we have been facing a strong low on gold here, which the market visited this area just once. Now, if the market visits this low area just once, that means that is our lower support. And here we have our resistance. So there are two things going to happen here. We have internal liquidity line above and below. So one, the first internal liquidity line on gold is below here. If gold come to this point and you struggle to buy, you might be in serious trouble. I'm telling you that you might be in a serious trouble. So there will be liquidity here. And whenever gold will come back to this structural high here and you struggle to sell from this point, you are going to put yourself again in another series of trouble, because that will be liquidity at the higher price point. Right here, I'm going to say that, okay, this is a support or local support. And I'm going to say that, okay, this is a resistance or still a local resistance, to give this market some perfect correlations. So this is approximately what we're looking at. And in normal circumstances, when this market was rallying from this internal liquidity area, it created a new zone here, and where this liquidity is lying. And the up liquidity area also created a new zone. So we can basically call them internal support and resistance for this market. So we have internal support and internal resistance for the market. So here we have an internal um, support for the gold chart. So it clearly stipulates and tell us what is happening, where the market is, and what we could do. 1 minute, please. Okay, I will tell the technician about maintenance workers. So guys, so here we go, and this is goal in front of us. So normally, everybody, even I myself, without any the first thing I was expecting for goal is that I was expecting that this particular goal guy should move at least and meet this area up here. That was my expectation. Yesterday, right, I saw something very important. One, the first thing I saw on this goal, which I don't want to overput my hat on, is this particular stuff here. So I saw uh this trend line. This trend line is a very dynamic trend line and it's a valid trend line on this market. The market has mitigated on this trend line, as you can see, one, two, and then it breaks slightly above it, then came back, and then the came and then hooked on this. So when I saw that rejection from there yesterday, I was very keen going further to take a sell on gold, which I even shared my sell trade on gold with you, where I doubled my account. Rapidly, I saw diagonal liquidity being built in this market because in this diagonal liquidity, I'm going to explain to you how it works. Liquidity is going to be lying below this structure, and this liquidity is going to be in a diagonal manner. So there will be liquidity here, for example, at this point, people are going to struggle to buy. I'm going to do it with a red line. So people are going to struggle to buy here. One, people will struggle to also buy here because it's a low, so they're going to be taken off. People are going to struggle to also buy here, and they should be taken off. So that's where most of the liquidity is lying. So we have this. So we are at the last liquidity peak for this market, and we have a strong fair value gap beneath us. The non-farm payroll is coming, and the gold has been consolidating since yesterday. If you put up the 1 hour chart, you are going to understand what I am talking about. So the diagonal liquidity has been cleared completely. So this was where the diagonal liquidity was. So this is the diagonal liquidity. So I'm just going to keep it so you can understand something here. So this diagonal liquidity has been taken off completely, and people have lose money. Some people have lose money, and so on and so forth. Yes, the pairs you are trading, Ethereum, Bitcoin, I have a link to the dollar. So you don't trade Bitcoin alone. You trade Bitcoin most averagely using the dollar, right? So if the news which is linked to the dollars and forming a cross pair with Bitcoin and other crypto is going to happen, like NFP and CPI, is definitely going to affect the crypto market because it has a pairing to the dollar. Because if you weaken the dollars, Bitcoin will be strong. If you strengthen the dollars, Bitcoin is going to be weak. That's just all. And vice versa to all crypto. So have an impression based on the way this market has been reacting. Look at the way this 1 hour candle is reacting. It seems as all the liquidity low has been clear. Okay. So listen to me attentively. We have two things to keep in mind today. One, this is our target zone. If listen to me, if the non-farm payroll, so I'm saying non-farm payroll, if the CPI comes out today to be strong, then gold is going to say, ha. And if gold is going to say, gold has a free fall zone. Don't fuck up. It has a free fall zone. This free fall zone is going to be from this price level here. All this zone like that is a free fall zone for gold. That means all this area like that is a free fall zone. Free fall. It will just be falling till it gets to that resistance down. So this is a free fall zone for gold. And so if this market, if the news strengthen the dollar, then gold is going to fall to this point. That's one option one. So that is the next target. So I'm going to be looking for sell opportunity to that POI. Now, if the news weaken the dollar, then gold is going to buy to this trend line. And mind you, if gold buy to this trend line, gold is going to break this trend line. So if there is so much liquidity lying to here, which is a diagonal liquidity, so gold is going to break it, and you have to be careful. So those are the simplest points that we have for the gold chart. I mean, the simplest points that we have for the gold chart, the simplest as possible that we have for the gold chart. Like, share, comment, invite others to join us. Do click share as much as possible, and we are going to be heading up to the next pair, which is not going to be gold again, but we are going to be talking Euro USD. We have a couple of opportunity lines for Euro USD, and I'm still on this analytics that I shared this morning on the VIP analytical channel. We have two things. The US dollars have been struggling to sell during this period where we have a struggling dollars that was struggling to buy. We saw a great point of interest for the Euro USD, which is actually a three rising method candlestick pattern that form a POI and a trend line that cuts across these two diagonal levels. This market serves as this point serves as a great point for a sell on Euro USD. Currently, my trade idea was focused on the fact that I want Euro USD to come and mitigate this structure, then sell. So if today the news is weak for the dollar, then Euro USD will fulfill my technical point for that POI. But if the news is strong for the dollar, then what is going to happen is that we are going to have a sell. And if we have a sell on this market for Euro USD, the market might meet some targets, some difficulties because of this consolidation here. So a sell on this news for Euro USD will not be good because we are going to have obstacles immediately the news is released. But I told you that for GBP USD, the obstacle for a sell market is likely going to be greatly reduced because if GU is supposed to sell, it is easy for GU to settle below this red trend line and have a good point of free fall that can carry it from here right down here. So it will be best if we have a sell on GU and EU. I'm going to prefer to sell GU than EU. Now, another thing I'm looking forward for, if at all we have a weak dollars during the news, then the market might fulfill my technicals by mitigating inside this my POI, and possibly it might clear some liquidity above it, which I am looking forward for. So there are two zones on the GBP USD. We have a very thick accumulative zone here. We have this POI here. And we can take so you are seeing that the second zone above this one, I'm going to mark it red, is where we have the volume cluster. The red one is where we have the thick volume cluster. So if it happens that the news comes out to be weak for the dollar, then GBP is going to be stronger than the dollar, and the market is going to buy. And it's going to buy above the first point of interest, possibly and target this second level before we get a massive sell, because that's where the volume cluster is. So that is what you should be thinking for GBP USD, and that is exactly the best trade idea I can give you for that particular pair. As long as other pairs are concerned, I've told you my opinion on Bitcoin, that I am expecting Bitcoin to have a break and retest. But during this non-farm payroll, there is a pair like gold, Euro USD, GBP USD, where you should focus more of your energy to than any other pair at the moment. For the Japanese yen, GBP Japanese yen, this morning I was doing the VIP session. I said this morning that some people are already struggling to sell GBP Japanese yen. I want you people that you have to be careful, because from where we were this morning, you have seen how the market has rallied again massively for the past last 3 hours. And it was clear that the market was supposed to penetrate this resistance structure. And at the moment, I now think there's going to be a possible sell on the GBP Japanese yen. If you were looking to sell GBP Japanese yen around this structure, your trade idea just became a signal. And your signal is only going to become a trade when the market direction has changed for you to take a safe sell trade on GBP Japanese yen. And this is going to be done by using a confirmation. It's choking. So this is going to be done by using a confirmation, and this is the most easiest confirmation that you can use to confirm a change in trend for the GBP Japanese yen. We can use a trend line. So if the GBP Japanese yen breaks below this trend line, I just simply need to wait for a break and retest, and I will sell this market until infinity. So now we have a signal for the sale of GBP Japanese yen. But without concluding, I will have to check also the Japanese yen basket. The JPY basket is so important. So the yen basket is very important. As for the yen basket, I told you people that when I'm looking at the yen basket, I'm seeing a possibility that the yen basket should at least go back down to the low of this consolidation. So I'm going to put this blue. So we have a blue support and a red resistance. So if this is true, then you should be careful. Please be careful yet with a sell on the GBP Japanese yen. Nevertheless, there is a huge fair value gap here, which I cannot refuse a reaction. This huge fair value gap is necessary. So there is one thing I too have to do. If I'm to sell GBP Japanese yen, I must confirm a change in trend for the yen basket, which it is this. So I must have this change in market structure or change in market trend visible on the Japanese yen basket before I assume a sell on GBP Japanese yen. I hope that is clear. So that is all what I have for you today. I hope it makes some sense. See you guys. I am going to be preparing for the GPA for the CPI today, and I want to see what the market has for me. There is a link in the bio for you to join the Learn to Trade and Pay After Profitability program. Have an excellent day. See you. Bye bye.